In the fitness industry, it's a lot different now, but it wasn't a space where women were necessarily accepted and felt safe. Growing up, I would go to a gym and I was nervous. I was always a confident person, but I would step into the gym and I was shy. I didn't know what I was doing. I was too scared to go use equipment because no one taught us that stuff and we think we're going to get judged. The reason I want to help women and young girls learn is so that they don't feel that feeling of dread when they're coming to a space where they're going to be better.
Welcome back to the We Are Sage podcast. Space for real conversations, practical advice, and that sense of empowerment you've been searching for. Now, today's episode is for women of all ages, those with a passion for fitness and those who don't even know where to begin on a fitness journey. I'm joined by certified personal trainer, Britt Christie, who's not only fiercely passionate about helping people achieve their fitness goals, but she also specialises in educating and training women and young girls specifically. So we're going to cover a lot of bases today, from overcoming gym anxiety to workout tips, body positivity, and the importance of exercise on our mental health. So without further ado, Britt, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Very excited to have you on. It's a topic that I've kind of wanted to chat about and touch on for a while. I think, there's going to be a lot of valuable insights today. But Britt, to give our listeners a bit of insight into who you are, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, growing up, hobbies, passions? Who is Britt Christie?
Growing up, I was always into my sport. I wasn't a dancer or anything, but I definitely love sport. So I started with soccer and I got into reps, which I loved. And then I got into coaching, which I loved more. And that was just something I fell into. I actually didn't mean to get into that.
Okay.
So I fell into that and I absolutely loved it. And then I went into a school where I was teaching. And then that led to being a PT, which is also teaching.
Yeah. So tell us a bit about why you think, you just touched on that you loved coaching more than you think you loved playing. Why is that, do you think?
So I loved coaching more because I was able to see the girls grow, and then I was able to teach them something, and then they go out onto the field and they actually do it, and them doing it themselves was just so rewarding.
Yeah.
And I loved it more than playing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watching that light bulb kind of go off in their heads.
And then they've figured it out. And that as well, when they notice it, it's different.
Yeah. Super rewarding.
Yeah.
Love that. So obviously you have that very athletic background. You grew up playing soccer and different sports. What was it that inspired you to become a personal trainer? Was there a moment that kind of sparked that passion?
I had always wanted to do it, but I actually did a taster course at TAFE.
Okay.
And I went 2 days a week and we did personal training and then outdoor rec.
Yeah.
And I loved it. It was the best thing I'd ever done. And it was very old school back then, but I don't know, once I did that, there was nothing else I ever wanted to actually do.
What was it about it that you loved so much?
I loved the environment. I loved the learning of everything. And then helping people.
Yeah.
I love that one-on-one connection where I see you grow. I thrive off that.
Yeah.
That's more satisfying to me than me doing something.
Yeah. Sounds like a bit of a theme even with the soccer coaching.
Yeah.
You just love seeing people kind of do their best.
Yeah.
That's so wholesome. And you specialize in educating and training women and young girls specifically. What kind of motivated that decision?
I think in the fitness industry, it's a lot different now, but it wasn't a space where women were necessarily accepted and felt safe. And especially me growing up, I would go to a gym and I was nervous. And I was always a confident person, but I would step into the gym and I was shy. I didn't know what I was doing. I was too scared to go use equipment. Because there were so many men. So I think the reason I want to help women and young girls learn is so that they don't feel that feeling of dread when they're coming to a space where they're going to be better. So I think that's why I just want to build women up to be this is their space too, and they can own it. So
that's so important. You know what? My first memory of going to a gym, I went with my brother. He, had his gym membership, and I think I went as like a friend one day, and we went to Fitness First, and he turned right at the door and went to all the big equipment, and I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do?
Yeah.
And I went to the women's only section.
Yeah.
Used like these little hand dumbbells, and I was like looking up on, I think, Instagram what
and
workouts
stuff.
to do.
Because it's so daunting.
So intimidating.
Yeah. And like it's because no one taught us that stuff.
Yeah.
Like our mums, that wasn't their generation where that's what they did.
Yeah.
They did do the little weight stuff. So that's probably all we've seen at home.
Exactly.
And then we go to a gym and we don't know how to use that stuff and it's too daunting and we think we're going to get judged.
Yeah.
So it's like teach everybody now while they're younger so then they can go and be comfortable and then they can teach their friends.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you were a teen, Britt, or in your early 20s, did you ever have your own, struggles with body image or fitness that kind of has shaped the way that you work with girls now?
Definitely. I haven't talked about it a lot, but I definitely struggled with eating when I was younger. Before I got into reps, I was in development squad and I didn't have a diagnosed eating disorder, but I wasn't eating properly.
Okay.
And it affected how I performed and I couldn't keep up and I felt tired all the time. So there definitely was that desire to be skinny, which then the food goes and then it affects everything else.
Absolutely.
And the way I teach people now is that you need food to fuel. You need that if you want to achieve what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And that's coming from like my own experiences, like not fueling properly, not being able to function properly because there was this desire to be skinny.
Yeah.
And that's not healthy.
No.
Like, and you can have the body of your dreams and still eat.
Yeah.
And still train and like still experience everything. Like,
Absolutely.
so I definitely think like the way I teach people now is based off like hard experiences that I put myself through that I didn't talk to people about.
Yeah.
So especially with the teen girls that I coach, I make sure I tell them exactly how it is. Like you need to eat. You need to make sure you're fueling because otherwise you can't function.
Yeah.
So,
and that goes to not just, playing sport. It's like brain function at school.
Yeah.
It's all those other little things. And I think social media has a lot to kind of answer for in that regard where it has placed these unrealistic expectations out there for young girls to, this ideal body image or what they think their body should look like.
Yeah.
And it's not healthy because everyone's bodies are different. And like you said, food is often the first thing to go. Yeah. And that's our main source of fuel. It's so important. So, I love that you touched on that.
Especially social media, what you see is not real. I'm like, I don't edit my photos. What I put up is actually me because a lot of the content we see is AI edited. Like it's not what these people actually look like, which then gives everybody a false hope of what they can look like.
Yeah.
And like you said, everybody is different. Everybody's body is different. So I think it's so important that what we put out is real.
Yeah.
Like, so just so like
100%.
we're not putting fake stuff out there and then young girls come through with problems because what they're seeing, they think that's normal.
Yeah.
And it's just not.
Exactly. So reflecting on that, actually, what's one thing you wish you could tell your younger self?
That it's okay to be different because I wasn't the body type I thought was normal and that you need to fuel. You need to and that's important if you have goals.
Yeah.
If you want to get somewhere, if you want to achieve something, you need to fuel for your brain, you need to fuel for your body.
Yeah.
And don't put that pressure on yourself to be what others look like. And aesthetics isn't everything.
No, it's not.
It's definitely not everything.
I love that. I love that so much. So for young girls, Britt, we touched on how a gym can seem so daunting, walking through those doors. What advice do you have for young girls when it comes to taking that first step in a gym?
I think find a friend. Like, I think training with a friend is less intimidating and so much more fun. Like, you don't feel like you're training. You don't feel unsafe when you have that friend with you.
Yeah.
So I think that would be the first thing. And if you don't have a friend, I think being prepared. So if it is looking at Instagram stuff or talking to ChatGPT, because ChatGPT can help you. But having like a plan of like what you want to do when you go in. If you're going by yourself, just being prepared, it'll help you stay calmer.
Yeah.
And like knowing your environment, look it up first. I always look up. If I go to a different gym, I look it up to see what it looks like first. So then I know and I'm
That's
prepared.
such a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, because then it's overwhelming sometimes going in. But if I know what it looks like, then I might not be as overwhelmed.
Yeah, they're a bit more familiar.
Yeah. So grab a friend and have a plan.
Yeah. I'm very big on grabbing a friend. That's my biggest incentive to go to the gym every day is going and seeing my friends. Like, it's also a social outing for me.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
you're working towards similar goals with some of your closest friends. It just makes it a bit easier.
And you can have a laugh, and then legs isn't so hard.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Literally.
Like,
so we also touched on, social media, but I think there's also a lot of misinformation online in terms of the best way to train or what to avoid in order to get the perfect figure. Like, what are some of the biggest training myths that you see young girls fall for all the time?
probably that you have to smash the cardio. You don't have to smash the cardio for our bodies as well. It's weights is so important.
Yeah.
Not just like aesthetically muscles, but like bone density as well as we grow up, especially as females, experiencing all the hormone changes that we do. Lifting the weights and that resistance training is really good for strengthening your bones, which people don't think about, but also as well toning, which we all want to be toned. So cardio doesn't tone. Yes, it gives you that endorphin high, which we love, but if you're wanting to tone up, weights is definitely the go.
Yeah.
And like not just lifting those little weights, like pushing yourself. Like, so you don't want to just be doing the same things over and over. You want to try and progress. So if it's starting to feel a little bit easy, maybe grab that next one up.
Love that. And so there might be some girls out there who think, oh my God, strength training, I don't even know where to begin. Like, quite scared of weights. Where can they start, and how often can they, kind of introduce weight training into their week?
Well, if it's something you haven't done before, I'd just say gradually.
Yeah.
Like I'd start like maybe like 1 or 2 sessions a week till you're comfortable, get used to moving, because it is different and you will be sore to start off with.
Yeah.
So I would say start light, just do 1 or 2 sessions a week. And I personally, depending how you like to train, but with my PTs, I'll start them on a mix. So 2 full body programs if they're fresh to the gym, because you don't want to be too sore and you want to be able to come back the next day.
Yeah.
So that's where I would start. And then as you get comfortable, then you can change your mixes up and then add more days. But yeah, I'd start light, building, get comfortable with your environment as well.
Yeah.
Because that's the scariest part when you want to start.
Yeah.
So get comfortable in the gym first, then add.
So important. And I think as well, asking questions, like not being afraid to approach someone in the gym or a trainer.
There is not a dumb question.
Yeah.
What's silly is doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And not seeing a benefit from it because you're doing it wrong when you're too scared to ask.
Yeah.
Just ask. And nobody thinks you're dumb. That's the thing about gyms. People are like, oh, I'm too scared to ask. Someone's going to think I'm dumb. No, like, we'd love for you to ask. We want to teach.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? People want to help, especially at our gym at Reborn. Like, even the members, they want to help each other. So I think if you don't know, ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And what other types of workouts would you recommend, young girls kind of introduce on top of strength training?
It depends. Honestly, it depends what you enjoy.
Yeah.
Like I enjoy running at the moment. So if that's something that you enjoy, do that.
Yeah.
I think training when you're starting, it's really important to start with things you enjoy, because otherwise you're not going to want to go.
Yeah.
So I would say start with what you enjoy. If you want to start with cardio because you like it, then do that. Jump into a HIIT session, like jump into like a conditioning session, but start where you enjoy and then build.
Yeah. Love that. So another thing I wanted to kind of touch on was, as a woman like yourself, what mindset shifts have been the most important for you when it comes to the way you approach training or the relationship with your body?
I think not worrying about how others perceive me is really important for me. So that pressure of like what everybody thinks I'm doing and should do, at times it has been overwhelming where I felt like I haven't been achieving enough because there's that pressure.
Mm.
Whereas that's not what it's like. People are not putting that pressure on me. I'm only putting that pressure on myself. Yeah. So to step back and enjoy the process has been something like I think I've learned even recently, like just enjoy the process and then everything will come because it's not pressure to do something. Yeah. It's doing it because you love it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's so important. And I think one thing I wanted to touch on as well that I think a lot of girls often struggle with growing up, I was guilty of it kind of in my teen years, the shift, like shifting our focus from how we look to what our body does for us and what it can do. Like how important is that kind of mindset shift?
That will change how you train.
Yeah.
And that will change your outcomes. If you're so concerned about what you look like, you're not going to concentrate on where you're going. And I think that that's a big thing because if you're comfortable with who you are and you're enjoying the process, that how you look will come later.
Yeah.
But I think it's really important mentally that we don't focus on the aesthetics of things. Yes, it's cool to look a certain way, but it's the process of enjoying your training and being able to achieve something is so much more satisfying than looking at appearance, because that has that negative connotation of if you don't perceive yourself looking like that, it affects how you feel. And whereas if you're seeing yourself progress, if you're seeing yourself being able to lift heavier, if you're seeing yourself being able to run further, like that is going to change how you feel about yourself. Yeah. And I think that's what we all want to feel good about who we are.
Absolutely. I know that when I hit a PB at the gym, like I am so proud of myself. Yeah. And that's where my satisfaction comes from at the gym. Like I will put my hand up. I'll be the first to say that when I was younger in my teen years, my perspective was not that. It was, oh my gosh, like I need to get, to this weight. And it was so unhealthy. But I feel like with time and with age, I've come to, realize that it's more about what my body can do for me.
But when we were growing up as well, the access for us was not as there. It was about weight. The 2000s was about that skinny look. So as well, I think it's changed the way we're seeing ourselves, and what is healthy has changed a lot from when we were growing up.
No, absolutely.
Now being fit and strong is cool. Whereas like when we were younger in that 2000s phase, it was being skinny was what was cool. So I think it is like a generational change as well, which is cool to see because this is way more healthy and way better for our brains.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing I wanted to touch on, Britt, which you actually brought up before, was our hormones. Obviously, as women, research actually suggests that we may be at a bit of a higher risk of overtraining due to those hormonal changes and kind of energy fluctuations. Can you explain how women can kind of best train in line with their cycle?
So you should train to your cycle. So there are only like really a week and a half where you should be hitting your PBs. So the week before, you should be deloading, resting, going less impact in your training, still concentrating on lifting your weights, but less impact. So not trying to go hard out in a hit session. And then the week of, same thing, you should be in that deload phase where you're not pushing for PBs. And then as you come out of your cycle, you're coming to where you want to start to hit your PBs. That's where you're at your strongest for about a week and a half or so. So that's where with your training, you're going to push yourself more there. And the benefits of not pushing yourself in those earlier weeks is you're not going to be run down for your peak week where you want to push yourself. So I think it's really important. And this is something I personally have only really thought about in probably the last maybe 6 months, because I would push myself and be like, why do I not feel good?
Why am I exhausted?
I'm exhausted. Why am I not improving? And then I realized like the week I need to train to my cycle. So I do need to deload when I'm coming into my period and on my period. And then on the other side of it, because I've had that deload and let my body relax, because it is about to go through a whole lot of crazy hormones, after that, that's when you can start building back up and you do feel a difference.
Yeah.
So it's really, really important. And something like we don't think about. We're
Yeah.
like, why don't we feel good? Why did I do so bad then?
Yeah.
And it's not you did bad. It's just your hormones are different at the moment.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
At our gym, we have week to week kind of blocks where we build up our weights every week in certain exercises. And literally a few weeks ago, I was like, oh, I hit a PB. I was like, this is great. Following week, it was less reps, but I couldn't even hit the same amount of weight. And I was like, what is wrong with me?
Yeah.
And I kind of had to take a step back, look at the big picture, and I was like, it's my hormones.
Yeah. And it's just something we can't control,
Yeah.
but we can work with.
Yeah.
And it's like once you figure that out, you can change your training to be able to make sure that you are performing your best. And everyone's different. So you got to figure it out for your body.
Absolutely. And how important on that is rest and recovery in kind of aiding our training routine.
So if you're not having enough rest, your body then doesn't recover. So same thing, it won't be able to perform at its peak. Okay, same with like lifting weights. If you're going heavy and giving yourself no rest, you're not going to be able to continue lifting that heavy and progressing. So you do have to make sure that you are resting. Okay, especially even when you're going heavy in your sets, that rest is super important so that you can continue to be able to lift that same weight. But also then after, making sure you're eating enough, because your body doesn't recover if you don't eat.
Yeah.
So making sure you're eating enough protein, as well as like carbs. Lots of people say cut carbs out. Carbs are your energy. If you are not eating carbs, your body does not have enough energy.
Carbs are friends.
Yeah, carbs are friends. We've been fed a lot of misinformation that carbs are bad, but carbs are your friend in a healthy, reasonable way.
Yeah.
Like obviously hot chippies, like not too many of those are not ideal.
I love
but
my hot chips.
certain carbs are really good for your energy level, which means like you'll be able to lift better and recover better as well.
Yeah.
Also having like a deload, like not going at max all the time. That's like, you don't need to do that. A deload will help you recover for your next block.
Yeah.
So recovery is really important. Resting is really important, and fueling as well.
And for those that may not know what deload is, can you give a little bit of a breakdown?
So deload, you probably you were to maybe work in like a 4-week cycle, and you probably do like 3 weeks where you're building, getting heavier, or increasing in your distance or the amount of effort you're putting in. And then that 4th week, you might want to cut back a little bit. So you might either drop the weight that you do and do a few more reps instead, or do the same amount of reps, just a little bit lighter. And then same with like your conditioning or something, maybe cut it back to about a 50% effort, 60% effort for the week, just so your body can recover, because we can't function at 100% all the time and be doing our best at 100% all the time. So deload is just cutting back a little bit, not stopping, but cutting back. Maybe you go for a walk instead of doing a cardio session or something like that, where your body isn't under that stress all the time, so that it can recover.
Yeah. So important. So obviously, Britt, we've touched on there's a lot of physical kind of benefits to our training. I wanted to also touch on the impact it has on our mental health. So did you want to touch on?
So I think training is more important for your mental health, because I think it lets you relax mentally and detach from life stresses, and it makes you concentrate on yourself, because a lot of time we're thinking about everything else and everybody else. So I think it gives you that time where you can be you and do something you enjoy for yourself. Obviously training is very good physically, but I think it's just that time where you can do something for you.
Yeah.
And like obviously the endorphins are something we all want to chase, and that little dopamine hit you get as well. But yeah, I think for me personally, I don't train to look a certain way. I love achieving something, but my brain feels calm when I train.
Yeah.
If I don't, I feel a little frazzled. So yeah, I think for your mental health, you have to be physical, not crazy. Whether it's a walk, it's a run, it's weights, like it doesn't
whatever
matter.
suits you.
Yes, go for a swim. Like you don't have to be pumping it, but that physical activity just helps your mental health so much more.
Yeah. I'm completely with you on that. My gym is like my safe space as well.
Yeah.
Like I go there to kind of, I know that there's blaring music and stuff,
Yeah.
but it's a place where I can switch off.
Yeah.
And like you said, I do something for me and I come away and I feel 10 times better no
Yeah.
matter what happened before the gym. Like I always know I'm going to leave feeling better.
Feeling better.
Yeah.
On my runs, it's the only time I can process everything, where my brain is like calm and clear.
Yeah.
Like, which sounds silly because we're all dying and trying to breathe while we're running. But like my brain goes clear, and all those hard little things that you feel you can't overcome, it like brings back in and more centered. And
Yeah.
you can kind of process everything a little bit better. But yeah, that's just me.
So Britt, before we wrap up, I also wanted to touch on if you have any advice for someone listening who may feel stuck or a bit unmotivated, what's the best way for them to kind of get back on track?
I think start by writing your goals down, like what you want, and then write a plan of like, okay, this is what I want and this is what I have to do to get it. And then start small.
Yeah.
So, for example, if I wanted to run 5Ks, then I'd be like, okay, my goal is 5Ks. This week, I'm going to start with a walk run. Next week, I'm going to increase it to 2, and then just start slow and build. But have a goal, a plan, and then set days that you're going to achieve those things.
Yeah.
Because a plan, you can't go wrong with a plan.
No, absolutely. And it's incentive then to kind of stick to something.
I stick it on my fridge.
Yeah.
And then it's there for you to see. Tick it off.
Yeah.
And then it's like you're achieving it. Each time you do it, you achieve it. Tick it off.
Yeah, unreal. And lastly, if you could give every young girl listening 3 golden rules for building a strong and a sustainable kind of relationship with fitness, what would they be?
My first one would be not compare yourself to anybody else. Everybody's on their own journey. Second one would be just get started. Like the hardest step is getting started, but once you're there, like it's easy.
Yeah, got to start somewhere.
And then my third one would be just always be proud of who you are. Do you know? Like everyone starts somewhere, and you got to remember that and be proud of like, I started here, and remember where you're going and proud of where you're going.
Love that. And at the end of the day, everyone's running their own race.
Yeah.
You know, it's not, life isn't, you know, a race. Everybody's
Everyone's
on
doing
their
their
own
own
path.
thing.
Yeah. No, I love that. So important. So Britt, it's now time for our Rise and Bloom segment, where you get to set a little challenge for our We Are Sage community. It could be a daily habit or a wellness practice, something that you think will enhance their life in some way. So what is your challenge to our community?
I would love for everybody to sit down and write 3 things that they're proud of themselves of, because that's something we don't do.
Yeah.
We don't acknowledge our wins. So I'd love to sit down and just write 3 things that you're proud of yourself for.
Every day or just
in the next 2
general?
weeks. Have a think about it.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's something where you're going to realize how far you've come. And like that we need to acknowledge.
Yeah, that's so important. I love that. Well, before I let you go, Britt, I'm not sure if you've seen, but with our podcast, every guest that comes on, we get them to sign off with a hand-drawn love heart on our canvas. And over time, we're going to kind of watch it grow and be able to look back and see just how many kind of women have shaped our community and kind of left their mark. So I'll get you to sign.
I would love to.
Great.
Thank you. Oh, this is great.
It can be as big or as small as you like, and just write your name in it. Oh, I love it.
That.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
No, thank you. I'll show whoever's watching. Oh, that's amazing. Thank you. Well, Britt, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
Know that there's so much that people are going to be able to take away from today's episode, both, you know, young girls and older girls too. Like, yeah, everything that you spoke about just really, I mean, I know it resonated with me. So yeah, I have no doubt that it's going to have a very big impact on a lot of people.
Thank you for having me.
You're an incredible...
I really enjoyed our conversation.
Oh, thank you. No, you are an incredible role model.
Thank
and I just think you are in the perfect role. Like, as a personal trainer working with young girls, like, you are the perfect person. I would have, when I was young, would have wanted a PT like you. So yeah, I love what you're doing. Yeah, if people want to connect with you on socials or get in touch, where exactly can they find you?
Be fit with Britt.
Be fit with Britt.
Yep, check it out. But yeah, a lot of real stuff on there.
Beautiful.
So.
Amazing. And to our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in today. If you liked today's episode, please be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, or share it with somebody that you love. Make sure to follow us at weare.sage on all of our socials. And lastly, to every girl who's ever felt like too much, not enough, or completely lost, we see you here at We Are Sage, and we're so proud of you. Good luck with your challenge. I'm going to be doing it as well. I think it's a really, really important one. And we'll catch you next episode. Thanks, guys.